Hi there, it's Gemsies, and in this video I'm going to be talking about pacifiers and whether or not they're actually safe to use. Don't mind that noise, it's just the bird. He won't shut up. Okay, so you've probably had your grandmother or your auntie or whoever talk about pacifiers and say they're no good, they're going to give your baby an overbite, they're going to give them buck teeth or whatever. So in this video I'm going to go over the potential risks and benefits of using the pacifier. So firstly, why do they even work in the first place? Well, babies have the natural urge to suck, even when they're not hungry. You've probably noticed your little one fall asleep suckling even if they've never had the pacifier in the first place or if it's fallen out of their mouth. It may look a bit like this. So cute, right? Anyway, pacifiers are completely safe to use as long as they're used correctly, and basically it just takes common sense, okay? Basically you just gotta wash them in warm soapy water and rinse them and let them air dry, and then you gotta sterilize them in boiling water or whatever sterilizing method you prefer, and you gotta check them for damage, any little tears or any sign of weakness, bin it immediately and replace it. Also make sure it's BPA free preferably, and make sure it's the right size for your baby. This usually is indicated on the packaging or what sort of like age group it's for. But when is it not safe to offer your baby a pacifier? Well, it's best to avoid the nipple confusion problem, and you do this by just waiting until your baby is confident in feeding and is gaining weight and everything as normal and will feed properly, and you're both used to a good routine and you're happy with it. So this is around about a month old or so just use your instinct on that one, really. Don't force a baby to take a pacifier. You'll probably just end up upsetting her even more anyway. Some babies just aren't interested in having a pacifier and some are, and some babies only prefer a certain shape. So yeah, you've got a couple of shapes to choose from. You've got the cherry, it's like a little like circle on the end, and then you've got two orthodontic shapes, one of which is angled so it can only be suckled one way, and the other one which is kind of long and shaped a bit like this. Yeah, you definitely want to have a bit of a collection of binkies going, just so you can have a fresh one that's ready to go when the one they're using gets dirty or whatever and you need to wash it. Definitely in public, always take a spare, okay? Or have something like this, like I showed you before. It's got this little claspy thing, which closes on the floor when it's dropped, so it's really handy. But always take a spare anyway, even if you have something like this, because you never know if it won't close properly or whatever, or you know. Also, never offer your baby a pacifier in placement of a feed or your attention. By that I mean make sure she's been fed, make sure she's got a clean diaper, make sure she's been burped and she's warm and all that kind of thing before you give her the pacifier. The only exemption for this, of course, being that instance when you're in public and you're at the supermarket or whatever and you're in the checkout line and baby starts crying, baby starts getting fussy, then it's binky to the rescue all the way, every time. They are a godsend in that kind of situation. Pacifiers, that's what they're called for a reason after all. It keeps them calm and pacified long enough for you to get to a space where you can tend to them properly or settle them down to sleep. Speaking of sleep, studies show that pacifier use can actually lower the risk of SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome, or cot death, whatever you want to call it. Another couple of obvious don't do's with a pacifier would be to not ever dip them in anything like juice or honey or whatever, or don't even like rinse them out in your mouth to clean them, whatever, and then give them to your baby, because the bacteria even in saliva can be bad for your baby's newly emerging teeth and can possibly give them cavities and stuff like that. So just don't dip the pacifier in anything. Also, don't know if anyone does this anymore, but don't put the pacifier, like, don't loop it around the baby's neck like a necklace, because obviously this is a suffocation hazard. If it really does annoy you, having to constantly find the pacifier in their bed when they've spat it out, whatever, then just pin or clip it to the baby's clothing. So while pacifiers are generally safe to use, there are a couple of risks that can potentially arise from using pacifiers. Most of them come from just basically not cleaning them properly, and they have germs on them and they get sick. But more seriously, ear infection is a really common problem. Ear infections happen because either the suckling motion or the fact that there are germs on the pacifier, and that can infect the middle ear. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the word, whatever. But yeah, that's the part that gets infected. And of course, if your baby's getting way too many ear infections, that's going to lead to hearing damage, hearing loss. So yeah. Some good news though, which is that generally the risk for younger babies is much lower. So older babies are more likely to get an ear infection from using pacifiers than really young babies. So yeah, it's good to wean your baby off pacifiers between 6 to 12 months. There are more reasons that weaning between those ages is crucial, and that is because prolonged pacifier use can lead to loads of other problems, like firstly an overdependence on them, and that's a big problem as well. It's going to get harder and harder to wean them off the older they get, basically. And also prolonged pacifier use can lead to poor position of the tongue and jaw, which can lead to speech problems and speech impairment, and it can also interfere with your child's dental health. So it's crucial, I'm going to say crucial, it's crucial to wean your baby off the use of pacifiers between the ages of 6 to 12 months. So make sure they're not using pacifiers at all by the time they're about a year old. So I hope you found this video helpful. You probably already knew most of the stuff anyway. I mean, most of it is pretty obvious. But if I've missed anything out, leave it in the comments below, and share your opinion on pacifiers. You know, are they good? Are they bad? Why? And show us how you managed to wean your baby off pacifiers if you did use them. Sweet as. So leave a comment. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in another video. So take care, and I'll see you later.